Hello friends, and welcome back to this week's devlog, where I'll show you how I transform my shitty piece of fuck game into an open world survival roguelike RPG in one day. Wait, no, that's not the title this week. Yeah, making a game that's sort of okay. Excellent title. Yeah, that won't do well. Hey, wait, what are you doing? No, please! Welcome to the devlog series for my 2D survival horror game, Never Forgotten. Truly a marvelous achievement in gaming. My name is Cody, or Schmungus Dungus for short, and I've been working on this game for like a bajillion years by now. This is an ongoing series in which I share the experience of developing my game from the kind of start all the way to the end. So anyways, what's this game about, you may be asking? Well, Never Forgotten is a survival horror adventure game in which you take the role of the learned soul trapped in a dying world consumed by flesh. You must venture deep into the world to its point of origin from which all darkness is derived from. Along the way, you will uncover ghastly creatures, hollowed and without purpose, riddles formed by the land cluing you into the true nature of this world, and fragments of your past to be pieced together in order to overcome that which looms over your arduous journey. The land in which you find yourself is without mercy. The longer you persist, the more it will wear you down, tearing away at you until there's nothing left to take. You must cling to your ever-wavering vitality through scarce resources to aid in your journey. Confront these creatures, seeping with essence, or run. Hope they won't catch up to you, but they always do. Or perhaps there's another way. Through careful exploration and keen wit, you might discover another side to this world, free of self-deconstruction, though wrought with a harsh misery. That is for you to discover. Only know, there is no wrong in your choice. So, as some of you Never Forgotten heads might know, I've been finishing up my game these past few weeks. Last week I was working on polish for the last 2 levels of the game, and I even showed off a little bit of the final boss. Since then, I've been going back to every level and finalizing the polish for each. The process for this includes writing all of the dialogue for a level, finishing any music or ambience, art, cutscenes, balancing, bug fixing, and setting up the saving system. So without further ado, let's take a closer look at the new stuff. To start, I'll just quickly go over dialogue. Dialogue for my game includes when you interact with something, an item's description, an enemy's description, and some other examples. The intent is always to give insight as to who the learned soul is as a character. So let's see what they have to say about this blocked doorway here. Let's move on to the cutscenes. I've created a simple system for cutscenes, which makes them easy to produce and edit. Briefly explain how it works. Every cutscene has a list of things to do. It will enact out those things based on a timer, then move on to the next one until it is finished. The system is very simple, but Never Forgotten will only have simple cutscenes, so this works out great. Let's take this cutscene for example. The player stops, falls to the floor, coughs up some blood, and then they stand up, say something cool, and it's finished. All I needed to do to achieve this was first, make some simple sprites and sound effects. After this, to create the cutscene, I need to specify the variables for each state. So here is where I actually trigger the animation for the player to fall over, and then here I play the coughing sound effect, and then, you know, there's a couple more states and then it keeps going, and then when it runs out of states, the cutscene's finished. The saving system is a tad more complex, given that each level has an excessive amount of variables which need to be saved. This was the first time I was actually creating a proper save system, so I used a piece from a Brachy's tutorial, extrapolated it a bit, and I put this together. You know, people way smarter than me would call this sort of thing, over-engineering. Essentially, with each level, I just need to specify which objects need to be saved. And then they are saved, and then they alerted, and that's about it. And lastly, we have audio, which I left for last, since people get bored when I play any sounds that I've made. You know, I put a lot of work into Forest3.mp3, but it's okay. With the intentions of keeping this brief, here's all of the new ambience I made bundled into a short compilation. Alright, you got all that? Good. Well, that's about it for all the stuff I did this week, so let's move on to the current timeline for the project and see how that's coming along. because I gotta stretch out this video somehow. So here's where we're at with the game so far. I've been developing it for over 2-ish years now. I was working on it a bit on and off during the early period of development, but by the time we reached 2023, I began working on it with a schedule, and currently we are nearly finished with it. I'm aiming for an October release date, given this is a spooky game and it would be fitting to release it during the spooky month. But what about all this space in between? Well, once I'm done with the game, I will spend time refining it, bug testing, balancing, rewriting story elements, etc. Just essentially making it less bad. Then I will begin to work on additional content for the alternate route for the game, which it's about 5 levels of work, but those levels won't have enemies in them and will be more story and puzzle focused. And after all that, the game will be completely finished and all focus will be towards refining it further and marketing. And if you'd like to join me for the remainder of this journey, you can expect weekly updates leading all the way up to its release. Okay, you goobers still watching the video, I have another new song to share with you. This time it's an actually new, not old song that I just haven't shared for 2 months. Like this is a new song. I made this in like the past few days. It plays over the halfway point in the game and marks when you've entered the end segment of your journey. And I signify this using the world's corrupted theme. The corrupted theme is just a chord progression that I use in areas which are more under the dark influence of the world than others, and this is also typically signified by, there being more flesh and flesh overtaking the land. Alright, here's the song. Alrighty, that's all for this week. If you're interested in the game, consider wishlisting it on Steam, and you can even give the demo a try. If you'd like to stay up to date with the project, you can subscribe with notifications on to never miss an upload. And for those who care, the Amori video, which I mentioned fucking like light years ago, that's still in the works. Don't worry. Alright, I'll be back next week with another devlog. Until then.